Hello and welcome to March 2017's 20-Minute Tune-In. This month we have guest presenters Jolene and Elaine, who are with us from the Searstone community, which is located in Cary, North Carolina. They have a fantastic presentation on how they have been able to blur the lines and establish a positive relationship with team members who work at Searstone as well as the legacy team members. So Jolene and Elaine, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to prepare this presentation and to share with the rest of the company what you've been able to do at Searstone. And at this point, I am going to turn it over to you guys. And I'm going to have you introduce yourself and kind of talk a little bit about this picture that we see on the screen, because I think it is a nice depiction of what you have been able to achieve at Searstone. So Jolene and Elaine, it's yours.
Thank you, Sarah. This is Elaine. This is a picture of the 4 co-chairs. Jolene is on the right, I am on the left, and our 2 activity directors. The day that we had the International Potluck Lunch, and we'll be talking about that. It has been wonderful to get together with the activity staff, and we have done quite a few of our social events with them, and they have been instrumental in helping us blur the lines with the rest of the staff also. You're up.
Fantastic, thank you. I think it's always nice to have a face go with a voice. So let's talk about how your relationship at Searstone started.
Our relationship, when we first got to Searstone, the health center had already been underway for about 10 months before the full-time staff from Legacy had come to the Brittany Healthcare Center. So the Blur the Lines concept evolved over a period of time when we first established that full-time staff here at Searstone. Initially, we did sense a definite separation of the Searstone staff and the Legacy staff, especially in the healthcare center where our rehab department was located. We felt that the staff was very protective of their residents, which was viewed as a good thing, but we felt our presence was more of an intrusion instead of an asset. And we just felt if we were going to be successful at Searstone, we wanted to change this culture. We started very small. We started with just baby steps by introducing ourselves to each and every staff member, especially the CNAs who do so much of the work on the floor every day. And we made it a point as a team to remember their names when we encounter them and call them by their names, and just making ourselves more present outside the clinic walls. Letting the staff know, primarily the CNAs, that our door was always open to them. I think this was really important because as these relationships developed and the trust was established, the barrier really came down fairly quickly. And we could begin that process of building a family, something that was really important to us. Because we have a motto here at Legacy that we work for the same person, the resident. Whether you're in rehab or nursing or maintenance or housekeeping, at the end of the day, we work for the same resident, same person, the resident. And that's something we really wanted to establish here. We felt that you must be willing to extend the first olive branch. Somebody has to start the process. And sometimes you may have to extend more than one, maybe 2, 3 at a time. But at the end of the day, you have to be committed to the mission. So some days are going to be better than others, but you just have to stay on track and on that journey to keep the mission developing and evolving. And over time, it's really been such a wonderful experience here. We have made so much strides and inroads with the Searstone staff members that we really feel like we're one family. And the line between the 2 companies, I've been here 3 years, has really blurred over my 3 years that I've been working here.
That's really fantastic, Jolene, and I think what you experienced is not uncommon as a contract rehab company. So I'm glad to hear that a couple of the points that you made was, one, that it takes time, two, that we all work for the same person when it comes down to it. I love that philosophy and the way that you have phrased that, and it's very spot on and a great reminder when we're in the midst of struggling, that when it all comes down to it, it should be about the resident. So thank you for that reminder. And I love the concept of building relationships. So let's talk about some of the relationships that you have built and how you've done that in your community.
So we started, once we started opening this door policy with CNAs, we found that just the floodgates opened. The CNAs came to us quite often seeking our advice, help with struggling with a particular patient or technique that the therapist had implemented, and they wanted to share and contribute, their perspective and things that they were finding. So I had asked my rehab director if I could start a CNA rehab training program for these more specific issues, not to run a CNA training program that is certainly under the umbrella of nursing, but more for a specific patient, maybe a neurologically impaired patient or a patient who had some specific problems or issues, and a slide board transfer really needed to be done a certain way that was outside the norm. So we discussed it, and the DON gave us the green light to proceed, and this has really helped strengthen our relationship with nursing. So I established this program that focused on rehab-specific patient care and properly implementing many of the techniques that we have determined to best benefit that patient, enabling us to set a very high bar and standard of care. Some of the examples were safe slide board transfers with a patient who experiences enormous amount of fear and pain with transfers, so we wanted to provide those techniques. We have a patient here that's a neurological patient that requires certain training to use the stand lift that's outside the norm. Weight-bearing statuses, especially, we do a lot of joint replacements here, so there's certain techniques. We just wanted to make sure that things were being done safely, complying with doctor's orders, and just that this high bar that we've set for ourselves as therapists here at Searstone. But again, this is something that's outside the norm, this CNA rehab training program, but I really feel that you have to be willing to expand the boundaries of your responsibility and build bridges to narrow the divide. You have to be more willing to be open to think outside the box.
Excellent, and I think this those one-on-one trainings can be so powerful to build that trust and a relationship with one CNA who is then going to talk to another CNA, and it starts small, but it has this snowball effect, and that sounds exactly like what has happened in your community. So good for you for keeping at it. What additional types of relationships have you guys built?
Well, we strive health and wellness here at Searstone. So the Legacy Rehab Therapists, we provide numerous exercise classes to the Searstone residents. We are on a rotating schedule every Wednesday. One Legacy therapist will lead a 30-minute seated exercise class for the residents and the family members here at Brittany Place Health Center. The wellness coordinator then will provide 2 other 30-minute classes on opposing days. I myself have been teaching a 30-minute chair yoga class every Thursday to independent living residents. This class regularly has between 8 to 16 residents in attendance, and it's been going on for a little over 2 years now, actually. I also teach a 45-minute sunset yoga class every Thursday evening to independent living residents as well. This class is small, 4 to 6 residents, but it has been really very well received. This class has been on the calendar for approximately 8 months. we feel at Legacy at Searstone that these classes really help integrate us into the Searstone community by providing a consistent presence in the community separate from the rehab clinic, especially to residents that we have not yet provided services to. We also find and have discovered that these classes really serve as reverse referrals. The residents seek us out regularly for advice or information about how we can help them through our services. So that's been a wonderful referral service. We also provide monthly health talks in the Independent Living Room Grand Ballroom. It's another opportunity for the Legacy family to have a strong presence in the Searstone family. We have provided health talks on a variety of topics, including low vision, the benefits of aquatics, as Searstone does have a pool in the fitness center, importance of hydration, the benefits of yoga. We do have future topics for 2017. One is what is OT? We have a mobility and safety clinic for rollators. We have a urinary incontinence in service called Gotta Go, Gotta Go. And we also had the privilege to participate in the first annual Searstone Health and Fitness Clinic for independent living residents. The Legacy therapists were invited by the Searstone Wellness Coordinator to serve as test administrators at various stations alongside the Wellness Coordinator. It was just another opportunity for Legacy to participate in a very high-profile way in the Searstone-driven event.
It's fantastic that you're getting out in front of the residents in so many different ways. I did have one question for you that I'm sure other clinicians can benefit from, and that is you talked about a rotating schedule for the seated exercise. When you say rotating schedule, does that, I know that you mentioned that you rotate with the wellness coordinator, but is that responsibility on one Legacy therapist, or does that responsibility rotate as well?
Yeah, no, the rotating schedule is every week it's a different Legacy therapist.
Okay, all right, good. So that responsibility then gets shared, and then residents are able to see a different face as well. So I like that idea. And then also I wanted to point out that I know that you had submitted your Sunset Yoga to the Live Well contest that we had a couple of months ago, and so that will be featured eventually as part of the Live Well program so that other people across the company can benefit from that. So if you're listening and you're interested in that Sunset Yoga that Jolene mentioned, it will soon be available as part of the Live Well program.
Wonderful, thank you.
Sure. All right, so you've talked about health and wellness. Let's turn it a little bit more to the social events or the fun events, because I know you have a lot of things that you've done in this area as well.
Yes, we like to have fun here at Searstone. Our rehab clinic is located at the Brittany Place Health Center, which is our skilled nursing and assisted living facility. So our Legacy staff decided we wanted to have an opportunity to provide an interactive event with our Searstone staff members and our residents to celebrate diversity, heritage, and culture within our community. So we organized a potluck luncheon, and that was where the first picture came from, where the four of us were together. The idea was initiated by our Legacy staff, but then we invited the activity director and our assistant to co-chair the event with us. It worked out well because it was around the time of the Olympics, so the dining room and the areas around the facility were decorated using those festive decorations depicting many of the represented countries, including a banner of international flags. And the residents and the staff had fun trying to figure out what countries were of what flags. We used the signs and really promoted the event with nursing and the other staff to develop some enthusiasm and optimal participation. The day of the event, we set up a long table for the food, and the Legacy staff and the Searstone staff served the residents, and then we served ourselves, and we sat with the residents at the tables and just enjoyed a casual and social time with them and with the other staff members. And it was just delightful to hear the comments of the residents and just witness their smiles. The residents loved doing something different, and so did the staff. This event was just a huge success. It was a great opportunity for staff to proudly represent their culture through food and to watch others enjoy some dishes for the first time. and it helped us blur the lines by giving us a common thread of conversation and activity with the Searstone staff and residents. So we're planning to host this event quarterly, and our next one is scheduled for April to celebrate spring. What you see on the screen there is the picture of our giving tree. And this idea emerged from our legacy rehab staff talking about wanting to do something to acknowledge all those who contribute every day to the health, wellness, and care of our residents and the health and happiness of each other. So we suggested a giving tree, a place where staff members, residents, families, and volunteers could publicly thank someone who's made a difference. Our team member, our physical therapist, Monsi, artfully created this tree out of colored paper, and the residents cut out the paper leaves on which to record their words of gratitude. The tree was an invitation to write a note of thanks or appreciation, and we were so surprised by how intensely it was all received. We joke and say that next year we need a forest of trees. Residents wrote to their families and staff members thanked each other, and families sent notes of affection and appreciation to their loved ones and to staff. On Thanksgiving Day, the activity director and her assistant came into the facility and delivered the leaves along with a small chocolate turkey sucker. So let me tell you, there's nothing like positive acknowledgement. It makes us feel good to give it and to receive it. We do ask a lot from the nursing staff here at Searstone, especially the CNAs. Searstone Nursing has developed a walking program, and the PT team provides the necessary instructions specific to each walker, and we have a high expectation that the CNAs will carry out this program accordingly. Our speech therapist is frequently on the unit providing guidance and recommendations for dietary restrictions, safe eating, and strategies to engage in successful communication. And as an OT, I know that the work I do with ADLs and the advances that my patients make are only helpful to the resident on a daily basis if that CNA carries it over. So beyond directing, we are always striving, both publicly and privately, to acknowledge our Searstone team members when they meet these expectations and standards. The Giving Tree was a great opportunity to promote this mission of gratitude by building a positive bond between legacy and Searstone team members, always remembering that the ultimate goal is providing appropriate care at the expected standard that the resident deserves.
The next thing on the screen is the Christmas pajama party. This was so much fun, and this really showed how far our relationship had come with Searstone. Our investment has been an evolution over time towards developing this family unit with the Searstone team members. And when the activity director had planned this Christmas pajama day, it was just an automatic that she was planning to invite us and include us, which just to me shows how much the work has come so far. So all the staff members and residents were invited to wear their favorite Christmas pajamas to work for the day to celebrate the childlike wonder of the Christmas holiday. The Legacy team was invited to join our Searstone cousins in this fun-filled event, and of course we did. And it was one of the most fun days that I've had in my 3 years here. Everyone was so joyous about being able to do something as so simple as wearing Christmas pajamas to work. So that was really just a great idea, or something that may be done in other buildings. And then every Christmas they have Searstone, the independent living residents, belong to a Searstone singers group. So they have a holiday concert every year, and this has been a lot of fun too, and it's been something that we've been asked to participate every year as well, which is also another way of just, indicative of our evolution here. Michelle, who's the RD, and myself, Jolene, we've been invited for the past 2 years to join the Searstone Christmas Concert Grand Finale. Christmas 2015, we were dressed as the 12 Days of Christmas and performed a very funny and entertaining rendition of this iconic Christmas classic. The following Christmas, we were dressed as reindeer and performed a hilarious take on Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. The finales are always the highlight of the concert. We have actually been invited already to perform for Christmas 2017, and it appears we'll be New York City Rockettes. We have recently been invited by the Entertainment Committee to participate and perform in their upcoming variety show. We are so excited. This is actually going to be a team collaboration, so everyone on the rehab staff will be a participant. So that's been really great fun to be included in these social events at Searstone.
Absolutely, and these are fantastic ways to build relationships outside of the normal work day, work responsibilities. And I think the thing that that I see is they're not huge endeavors. With the exception of the potluck luncheon, they're simple. They're simple things that change the routine and the rut that we can sometimes get into. And that's kind of the thought that I had with the Christmas pajamas. It's what a simple thing to bring so much joy and entertainment not only to the residents but to each other. So beautiful job with those social events. And I know that you have shared with me that not only do you build relationships within the community, but you also have participated in reaching outside of the community. So talk about that for me.
Yes, this actually was started by Legacy, this food drive. I think it's been 2 years now that Legacy has implemented the food drive. We really were excited about that. I'm a big advocate for, thinking globally, acting locally. So this is something that I really wanted to promote here at Searstone and not just Legacy. So this is, again, something that we once again wanted to include our Searstone team members. So we invited them and called it the Legacy Searstone Food Drive. These are just really so simple if you do that, how it changes the dynamics and the perspective by inviting and being inclusive. So they were very eager to help, and they were grateful for the invitation to such a worthy cause. We set up a large box in the lobby, or as you can see, we needed 2 over time, in the Brittany Place Health Center lobby, and like I said, we called it the Food Drive, Legacy Searstone Food Drive. We were overwhelmed by the outpouring of generosity of Legacy and Searstone team members, as well as residents and their families. This past year, we collected approximately 160 food items. We continue to plan this joint venture tradition with our Searstone family yearly. And what we do is, again, another way just to sort of reinforce our inclusion, we as a team decide where the food will go. We just don't have them join us and then we make the determination. We ask them to give us charities of their choice, and we try to be, every year we try to be fair and either send it to a Legacy choice or a Searstone choice. I think those little things make all the difference.
Absolutely. You guys have provided some fantastic information for us today. One last thing before we go is if you would just kind of summarize the steps or the key pieces that you guys have used in your community to build this relationship that is working out so well. I know that you have shared some fantastic specific events that you've hosted, but I think that these can be easily replicated across the company. So what would you share with therapists that are kind of must-dos or key points, if you will?
Sure. I think that it starts with attitudes, that encouraging positive attitudes and feelings among your employees can have that ripple effect in promoting positive attitudes toward the residents and their families, and that's what we want. We feel that therapists by nature are in a great position to model respectful, compassionate, and kind behaviors and promote this teamwork. We try here always to remember that the CNAs spend the most time with the residents, so therefore they probably know the most about those residents. We had an instance where Jolene and I were in a patient's room arranging the furniture so that his equipment could all fit and the patient would be more comfortable. And we realized, we really should have the CNA in here because whatever we do and whatever we change, it's going to impact how they care for the resident. So between us, the 3 of us along with the patient's wife came to consensus on a plan. And in the end, it was good for his mobility. It was the patient and his wife were happy. The CNAs were happy. And it was a far superior thought process than just us making an executive decision on where his things would be in his room. So consulting with those other team members and making sure that you all have input on the important things are one piece of those positive attitudes. It's good to know your facility managers and your administrators. Things really do start at the top. So the key players need to be on board and invested in those social and therapeutic activities that you're planning. It helps to have a partner in crime. Jolene is my partner.
And Elaine's mine.
To bounce ideas off of and to share the duties, because there are some duties. Staff meetings are a great opportunity to, oftentimes some of the ideas just come out of some issues that are a problem, and you think, oh, maybe we can do this to help. So staff meetings are great to brainstorm ideas. And make sure when appropriate, such as the potluck lunch and other things, that all staff members are invited and have some opportunity, not just nursing, but maintenance and receptionists, dietary volunteers, administrators, that everybody has an opportunity to be included. Then afterwards, listen to the input of the staff and the residents. You can use that for going forward, but also for new ideas. And most of all, be creative but have fun, because some of the changes we've encountered, and as you said with the pajama party, it just makes your day a little bit more special, and it's more special for the residents too. So have fun with it.
Hello?
I'm sorry, it helps if you take your phone off mute. Thank you for sharing your information with the Legacy team. Thank you for your time and your efforts putting this presentation together, and for sharing the success that you've had at Searstone. So Jolene and Elaine, again, just thank you, and keep doing the good work that you're doing.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Next month, our topic will be on spaced retrieval, so that will be a good topic for all disciplines to participate in, and that will be distributed through the April newsletter. Again, that topic is spaced retrieval. Thank you for your time, and have a great day.